Today we're diving into an absolutely incredible story. It's about a man who walked out of a prison cell and right into the presidency of the very country that put him there. This, of course, is the story of Nelson Mandela's long walk to freedom.
I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. A political prisoner becoming the president of this same country that locked him away. It sounds like something out of a movie, right? But it's the real, unbelievable heart of Nelson Mandela's extraordinary life.
27 years, that's the number. For nearly 3 decades, Nelson Mandela was behind bars, all for one simple yet incredibly powerful idea: freedom for his people.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The story hits this incredible high point on May 10th, 1994. And this wasn't just a big day for South Africa, this was a day the whole world was watching.
Mandela himself actually called it the Rainbow Gathering. You have to picture it. After being isolated for decades because of apartheid, here was South Africa welcoming leaders from over 140 countries. It was this beautiful, powerful symbol of a brand new start, with people of every color celebrating together.
So, the ceremony itself was just packed with meaning. First, you had Mr. de Klerk sworn in, then Thabo Mbeki, and then, the moment that literally centuries of struggle had been leading up to, Nelson Mandela takes the oath, becoming the very first black president of a free South Africa.
And in his first speech as president, Mandela made this huge promise, not just to his own people, but to the entire world. He basically declared that the days of one group of people oppressing another in South Africa were over. Done. Forever.
But a day like that, it doesn't just happen, right? It's built on a history of incredible sacrifice. And to really get why that day was so huge, we have to understand the cost.
For so long, one word defined South Africa: apartheid. And let's be clear, this wasn't just some vague policy. It was a brutal, systematic structure of racial segregation, all designed to keep the white minority in power. The injustice and suffering it caused are almost impossible to imagine.
You know, on that day, his greatest day, Mandela wasn't just thinking about the future. He was thinking about the past. He said he felt like he was simply the sum of all the African patriots who came before him, and his one big regret, that he couldn't personally thank them for everything they'd sacrificed.
It's a fascinating thought, right? Mandela believed that the terrible pressure of apartheid actually created these incredible leaders, like diamonds formed under pressure. He saw that his country's real wealth wasn't in its mines, but in the unbreakable spirit of its people. That was the real treasure.
So this incredible struggle, it didn't just change a country. It completely shaped how Mandela himself saw the world, how he understood some of the most basic human values.
He learned about courage from his comrades, the other freedom fighters. And for him, courage wasn't about not being afraid. I mean, who wouldn't be? It was about triumphing over that fear. He said the brave person isn't the one who feels no fear, but the one who conquers it.
He also talked about what he called twin obligations. The idea is that everyone has 2 big responsibilities. The first is to your family, your parents, your partner, your kids. The second is to your people, your community, your country. But here's the thing. Under apartheid, for a black person, that was impossible. If you tried to serve your people, you were torn away from your family, called a criminal, and forced to live apart. It was a choice designed to break you.
And Mandela's own idea of what freedom even meant changed so much over his life. You know, as a kid, freedom was just running around in the fields. As a student, maybe it was staying out late. Then, as a young man, it was about getting a job and having a family. But eventually he realized that his personal freedom was tied to everyone else's. That personal hunger for freedom became a hunger for the freedom of all his people. And that's what turned him from just a man into a leader.
Okay, let's jump back to that inauguration day for a minute, because it was just full of these powerful symbols that showed the world that, yes, something had fundamentally changed.
I mean, just try to picture this. The same top military generals, guys with chests full of medals from the old oppressive government, the very same people who would have thrown him in jail without a second thought, were now snapping to attention, saluting him, and pledging their loyalty. It's just a mind-blowing symbol of the shift in power.
And then there was this moment with the national anthems. It was so powerful. The white South Africans sang Nkosi Sikelel' Afrika, which was the anthem of the black freedom struggle. And the black South Africans sang Die Stem, the old anthem from the apartheid era. The amazing thing was, neither group really knew the words to the other's song yet. But it didn't matter. The gesture itself said everything about trying to build one shared future from 2 very different pasts.
But you know, Mandela's story is about more than just a single day or a political victory. It teaches us something really deep, a philosophical lesson that goes way beyond that.
Here's one of his most powerful ideas. He said that freedom isn't just something the oppressed person needs, the oppressor needs to be liberated too. Because a person who takes away someone else's freedom is a prisoner themselves, a prisoner of hatred, locked up by their own prejudice.
His point was that the oppressor and the oppressed are both robbed of their humanity. No one can be truly free until everyone is free. It's a radical idea of what liberation actually means. And even after all that, after achieving what seemed impossible, Mandela knew the work wasn't done. He famously said that after you climb a great hill, you find there are many more hills to climb. Winning political freedom was that first great hill. But the fight against poverty and deep-seated inequality, those were the next hills on the horizon. The long walk wasn't over.
And that really leaves us with a big question to think about, doesn't it? Mandela's walk was for his nation, but that struggle for real freedom, for true equality, for basic humanity, well, that's a journey we're all